Hey, this is Stu Schaefer, and I'm about to explain what causes menopause weight gain and how do you flip it around so you can lose weight in menopause, like all of my clients have done over the last 25 years. I'm a guy, but I've been working with women over 50, even in their 60s and 70s, in perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. And they've all been able to lose 20 to 30 pounds of fat in just a few months, even if they tried for over 10, 15, 20 years before that without any progress whatsoever. The good news is you can always reverse the symptoms. You can always reverse the damage that you've done on accident. But the best thing would be don't even do it in the first place. So we're going to talk about the 5 causes of menopause weight gain, how you can avoid them, and what to do to reverse it and lose weight if you've already made these mistakes. Let's get to it. Okay, so what happens in menopause? Well, there's a bunch of changes that take place. And so a lot of times what will happen is women say, geez, I haven't changed anything. And all of a sudden, I'm gaining weight. I didn't even do anything different. This isn't fair. Or women will say, geez, I've gained some weight, but all the stuff that I would normally do where I could lose the weight just fine, it's not working anymore. I can't lose the weight. It keeps going up. Or you can lose the weight, but it's a lot harder, and then all of it just comes right back on, and it's kind of coming around the belly, or maybe you're just not fitting into your clothes anymore. And sometimes it can feel like your body is betraying you. It's not cooperating anymore. You don't feel comfortable in your own body. You lose your confidence. You start becoming afraid of food. You don't need to experience any of this. It's not a requirement of menopause. You can avoid it and you can reverse it. So stick with me. I'm going to go over exactly what's going on. The very first thing that happens when you hit menopause and perimenopause, your ovaries turn off. That's just what happens. And the ovaries up until this point have been what produce your hormones. And so this is why women automatically think, it must be my hormones. That's why I'm gaining weight. It's got to be the hormones. And that is actually not true. In fact, I just did a lesson all about the surprising hidden hormones that no one talks about, and you can go check that out. It's normally not your estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and pregnenolone. Now, if those hormones are out of balance, that is a symptom, not the cause. What happens when your ovaries shut down is your body will keep producing those hormones and converting the hormones, but how it does it changes. Now your adrenal glands have to do that. So now they're double duty. They're producing your stress hormones and also your sex hormones. So they've got double duty. Well, guess what? This makes you very sensitive to stress. And now things that wouldn't have stressed your body in the past are too stressful because the adrenal glands can't keep up. And so even though you might not do anything differently, this is the first change that occurs where maybe you've been exercising too much. Maybe the way you're eating allowed you to be successful before, but it's not going to work anymore. You weren't eating right to begin with. You just could get away with it before when your body was more resilient. And now you can't get away with it anymore. Maybe the type of exercise, the amount you're doing, the amount of stress you have in your life, etc. All these things where you could tolerate them before, but now you can't. So what it feels like is, hey, I didn't change anything, but now I'm gaining weight. I've got all these weird symptoms. Well, the truth is you were never doing it right, okay? It was wrong. You were making a mistake. You could just get away with it before, and now you can't get away with it anymore. Okay, does it suck? Yes, I agree. but this is what's going on. So it's not all of a sudden that, oh, you were doing everything right and something changed. Menopause now, what it's doing is it's revealing what you were doing incorrect before. Now, because you're so sensitive and a lot of times things will stress you out, this is why you have to start changing some things, which we're going to talk about in just a second. Let's talk about the second shift. Okay, now you're hypersensitive. And so what typically happens is your cortisol starts going up, or your adrenaline. Okay, a lot of women will talk about adrenal fatigue, or their cortisol is too high, or actually their cortisol is too low because the adrenal fatigue occurred and now the body's not producing any cortisol, so it's not producing enough. Let's talk about cortisol for a second because it gets a bad reputation. Cortisol is a very important hormone. I talked about this in the last video I did. It helps you burn fat. It burns fat when it's in the right range. Now, this is like everything in your body. Blood sugar, blood pressure, cholesterol, thyroid, every hormone. If something's too high, that's bad. But if it's too low, that's also bad. It's got to be in the sweet spot. Cortisol is the exact same. When it's in the sweet spot, you're going to be humming along, burning fat. You're going to be doing fine. As soon as it goes out of range, it's going to do a couple things. Number one, it's going to prevent you from burning fat. In fact, it'll cause you to burn muscle, which will slow down your metabolism. But also, there are two hidden symptoms that occur. It'll cause you to develop gut issues, and it'll cause inflammation in the body. This is why a lot of women, when they hit menopause, they get bloated, they develop an autoimmune like Hashimoto's or something like ulcerative colitis or something like this. They eat foods and now the foods bother them that never used to bother them. What? What's going on? The cortisol, when it goes up and the adrenaline, it shifts where your blood flows. And if you're in the fight or flight mode or you're, in the sympathetic state, your body actually pulls the blood away from your organs and sends it more to your muscles and your brain. And now your digestive organs don't get enough blood flow to function properly. Now you don't digest properly. And this opens you up for gut issues. Could be bacteria overgrowth, fungus overgrowth, candida overgrowth, leaky gut. Things like this. It throws your microbiome off. Well, when this happens, that causes a lot of inflammation in the body. When inflammation goes up, this causes your insulin to run high, which will cause you to store fat much more easily and prevent you from burning fat. And this is where all of a sudden the cascade starts. So in menopause, one of the big shifts is your body can't tolerate the stress that it once did. This means you have to shift things. Your food, your exercise, your mindset. Now that can be a hard pill to swallow. I don't blame you if you're a little bit resistant. But it's better for you to realize this and be able to adapt than it is to resist. So what does this all mean? Well, let's get into the other pieces and what to do about it. The third thing that happens, and this is in order, by the way. Now the third thing that happens is the nutrition has to change. Because the food you were eating before might now be inappropriate if you've developed gut issues or inflammation. Certain foods may have been causing inflammation, like nightshades or tomatoes or things like this. And I did an entire lesson about foods you've got to avoid in menopause. They might have been causing inflammation before. You didn't realize it because you had no symptoms. And now the symptoms are just apparent. You might have swollen joints and inflamed body and bloated and retaining water and all these other symptoms. Headache, brain fog. All the symptoms that they say are just menopause symptoms, they're not menopause symptoms. The brain fog, the low energy, the bloating, the inflammation, the weight gain, that's not normal. That should not happen even in menopause. It happens because these things are out of alignment. And if you fix these things, those symptoms will go away. So with the nutrition, the diets don't work. The calorie restriction is awful. That causes higher cortisol. This thrusts your body into starvation mode. Doing something like low carb, same thing, very stressful on the body. That can inhibit your thyroid. Things like time restricted eating, 1 meal a day, intermittent fasting, when you're starving yourself all day, again, that's very stressful on the body. So these diets might work temporarily or may have worked when you were younger, and now they don't work. You can't lose the weight. In fact, you might still be gaining weight. These diets are actually working against you. They wreck your metabolism, and they cause something called repressed metabolic syndrome. I know it sounds technical, repressed metabolic syndrome. All that means is now when you eat, your metabolism is so sluggish and repressed, the body actually takes the food you eat and it shuttles it straight to your fat cells, your muscles, your liver, your brain, your organs. They don't get the fuel like they should. And so when you go and exercise, you end up burning off muscle, which slows your metabolism down even more and makes you look soft and flabby. This is the opposite of what you want. So most women, they try to work out more and eat less, and it makes things worse, and you can't do it that way. You need to shift your thinking. Instead of calories or carbs or cutting this or restricting that, that's not right. Instead, you need to eat correctly. This is different from eating healthy. You can eat healthy and still gain weight. Most of my clients, when they come to me, they're eating organic, healthy, all natural. They've cut out all the bad stuff, which is why they're so confused as to why they're gaining weight. But when we start eating correctly, they lose the weight. Correctly means you're eating the right food at the right time in the right combination to cause the correct chemical reactions in your body. It'll cause the right hormones to get released. It'll cause the right enzymes to get released. It'll cause your body to take the food and actually use it and send it to the correct parts of your body instead of storing it as fat. This will help control the cortisol. This will help alleviate stress. This will fix gut issues. It'll help your hormones be produced because now your adrenal glands have the bandwidth. And this will reverse all the symptoms. But you've got to eat correctly. It has to be more precise now. These other diets that you've done in the past are going to make things worse. Now, I've done an entire lesson about food combinations. You can check that out, and you should go do that after this lesson. The fourth thing that happens is now, because of your sensitivity to stress, not only does your nutrition have to change, but so does your activity, your exercise. It can't be the same. You need to let go of the high intense interval, the super long, 1-2 hours, the marathon trainings, the going to the gym and working out as hard as you can. You need to forget that. You need to shift away from that. That doesn't work anymore. What I found with my clients is actually the less, the better. Now, let's not get carried away here. They're doing maybe 20 to 30 minutes a day. That's it. But it's far less than what they were doing. And in some cases, we have to pull it down even further because they're so active in their job that doing too much exercise tips them over the edge with their stress and their cortisol. They'll actually lose more weight when we scale back the exercise than doing more. And trust me, we don't cut the calories. It's the most bizarre phenomenon you'll ever experience. And trust me, my clients feel very confused. Still, welcome to menopause. I mean, you can still get great results. It's just, it flips things upside down. The exercise also has to be gentle. Now, trust me, you can still look amazing. You can get toned and muscular and ripped and have the definition. I mean, I was working with a client named Michelle. Same thing. Hormones were dropping. was eating how she used to, was working out really hard. We turned everything upside down. She lost so much body fat and got so lean in such a short amount of time. She couldn't believe it. She felt guilty that she wasn't exercising that much. She thought, oh, I need to do more. I feel like I'm not doing enough. But when she looked at her pictures, she couldn't deny it. So she had more time for her family. Okay, the fifth and final piece. If your body now is so sensitive to stress, which it is, then that means your sleep and your stress have to be dialed in. You've got to get good sleep and you've got to mitigate your stress. Now look, we all have emotional stress. We've got families, responsibilities, job, finances, things that are bothering you. Maybe you're just stressed about menopause. Your body doesn't look good. You don't feel good. It's stressful. It can cause anxiety. It can cause you to feel frustrated. You've got to manage that. Now, you can eat in a way that reduces stress. You can change your activity or exercise in a way that reduces stress. Those are the low-hanging fruits. Those are the easiest to change. They're physical. The other piece is the mindset. You've got to learn how to use your mindset with your body instead of against your body. And there are certain techniques you can do. There are special breathing techniques. There are certain tapping techniques. There are certain mindset techniques that take 2 to 5 minutes per day. And what they'll do is they'll actually put your body into the parasympathetic state so that you can digest well, your cortisol drops, your adrenaline drops, and your body can actually release the weight. It can digest properly, absorb the nutrients, use it for your muscles, send it to the liver, which will speed up your thyroid, which will speed up your metabolism. All of these things are critical, and at the base of it, the foundation, is your mindset. I can't emphasize enough how important mindset is. And the techniques are so easy. Now, you don't have to sit there and listen to some sort of new age music and meditate for an hour. You can if you want, but a lot of people just don't want to and they don't have the time. I'm talking about real, tangible, logical techniques, tools that take 2 to 5 minutes. You gotta do them every day though. It's like brushing your teeth. Now I can't get into it today, it'd take forever, but I will make a lesson on mindset and I will make a lesson on sleep because these two things are so vital and they're at the root of it all. And if you don't get those parts figured out, the rest won't matter. It won't matter because this will short circuit all of the other pieces. This is why you gain weight in menopause, even though you haven't changed anything. It's not your hormones. When these things are off, this causes your adrenal glands to work too much on the stress, and this is what disrupts your hormones. They're a symptom, not the cause of the weight gain. When you fix these pieces, you'll lose the weight, and then your hormones will balance on their own, and you won't need to take any sort of medication or fancy supplements. This is how I do it with my clients. I've worked with thousands of clients over the last 25 years. This is the difference in menopause. And I'll tell you a little secret. It works even better when you're not in menopause. So if more women did this and started doing it this way in their 20s, they wouldn't even have menopause symptoms. This is the difference. Now I'm going to put up 2 videos here that I want you to go check out. They're going to dive into some hormones. They're going to dive into some exercise concepts for menopause. Click the links. I'll see you over there. There's also a couple links in the description for some free resources at my website. Click the links now. Get over there. You'll have a lot of great free resources you'll learn from, and I'll see you over there. All right. Take care.